In the early hours of June 10th, the Ukrainian military used at least 10 ATACMS missiles to attack Russian air defense systems in Crimea. They destroyed one S-400 and two S-300 air defense systems. Just 2 days later, the Ukrainian military carried out another precise strike, destroying two more S-400 and one S-300 system. Over the past 2 months, Russia has lost 10 S-400 air defense systems. If the Ukrainian military maintains this level of intensity, Russia's S-300 and S-400 air defense systems might be gradually wiped out. Under repeated attacks from the Ukrainian military, the S-300 has proven to be ineffective. In response, the Russian military has decided to replace it with the more advanced S-500 Prometheus air defense system. The S-500 is said to be equipped with new supercharged missiles and new radar, with a range of up to 500 kilometers and an altitude of over 100 kilometers. Two S-500 systems are deployed in Crimea, and another two are along the eastern coast of the Black Sea, covering most of Ukraine and the entire Black Sea. In overlapping areas with the S-400 systems, the data suggests that not only Ukraine's old fighter jets and advanced tactical missiles, but any aircraft or missiles in the world would have no escape. However, the actual performance of the S-500 is far less impressive. Military experts have revealed that the S-500 is still in the development stage and far from being combat ready. Due to Western sanctions, manufacturers struggle to obtain key high-tech products and must seek alternatives, hindering progress. Worse still, after using Chinese components, the defect rate skyrocketed from 2% to 40%. Even the currently deployed S-500 systems have an effective interception range of only about 200 kilometers, similar to the American Patriot 3 air defense system, instead of the advertised 500 kilometers. The reason for the S-500's lower actual range is the noisy Chinese chips it uses. Radar range depends on the relative intensity between signal power and noise level. When the radar's power is increased to cover 500 kilometers, the noise from the chips also rises, drowning out the return signal and making it hard to detect targets. At lower power, covering around 125 meters, the noise level is lower, allowing the return signal to be distinguished and targets to be effectively detected. This is why the actual range of the S-500 radar is only a quarter of its theoretical range. In terms of target detection and anti-jamming capabilities, the S-500's guidance radar is only slightly better than the S-400. Additionally, the S-500's interceptor missiles still rely on proximity detonation rather than direct hits. Because of this, since its deployment in 2021, the Russian military has only equipped one S-500 regiment, totaling 10 systems, and has never deployed it on the front lines. The S-500's claimed ballistic missile defense capabilities have yet to be tested in actual combat. So, what can the S-500 intercept? It should be a slight improvement over the S-400. Capable of intercepting all Ukrainian fighter jets within its operational range and to some extent intercepting tactical ballistic missiles, though not very efficiently. For cruise missiles like the Storm Shadow, which have terrain-matching flight capabilities, the interception probability is even lower because the S-500's radar and computing systems struggle to predict their exact trajectory. Additionally, the S-500 interceptor missile is bulky. Comparing launch vehicles, an S-500 vehicle can only carry 2 interceptor missiles, while the S-400 can carry 4, and the American Patriot 3 can carry up to 16. This highlights the significant gap in missile miniaturization and performance between Russia and other countries. The large, heavy missile body inevitably affects the interceptor's maneuverability. This image shows the S-400 launch vehicle, which holds 4 interceptor missiles of the same overall volume. This image depicts the latest American Patriot 3 launch vehicle, which fits 16 interceptor missiles in the same volume. Moreover, Western countries use hit-to-kill technology to intercept ballistic missiles, a technique Russia has yet to master. Officially, the S-500's interceptor missiles still rely on pre-detonation and shrapnel to disrupt incoming targets with shock waves rather than causing direct damage to high-speed objects. Regarding the S-500 intercepting Army tactical missiles, the S-500's large size and advanced control systems still make it less agile than the S-400 when intercepting ATACMS missiles traveling at speeds of Mach 3 to 5. The S-500 relies on the explosive power of its large warhead to destroy incoming targets rather than precise hits, raising concerns about its efficiency against ATACMS. While it can shoot down aircraft without issue, its actual performance against ballistic missiles remains questionable. In contrast, Ukraine's Patriot II system has no problem intercepting Army tactical missiles, even successfully intercepting Russian Kinzhal and Zircon missiles, which are faster than tactical missiles. This demonstrates that the S-400's performance is inferior to the Patriot II. The S-500, slightly better than the S-400, would fare even worse compared to the more advanced Patriot III. Apart from the Patriot III, other systems, like the THAAD and Standard Missile-3, intercept at greater altitudes and distances. In Israel's defense system, the Standard Missile-3 corresponds to the Arrow-3, while the Patriot-3 matches the David Sling. This comparison clarifies the S-500's position, placing it in the same category as the Patriot-3 and David Sling. After the S-500 is deployed, Ukraine now has F-16s. How will the F-16 and S-500 interact? If Ukraine's F-16 fighter jets venture into the S-500's defense zone without support or interference, they risk being shot down. However, Ukraine will not act recklessly. They will first conduct suppression of enemy air defense SEAD operations, releasing numerous ADM-160 decoys to trigger the S-500's radar. Then they will use AGM-88 HARM anti-radiation missiles to target the radar while deploying suicide drones to further create distractions. The key will be whether Ukraine has enough F-16s, anti-radiation munitions, decoys, drones, and effective tactics. Once the S-500 defense line is effectively suppressed, the F-16s can carry Maverick missiles to strike key Russian targets like command posts and ammunition depots. At this point, the F-16s mainly need to be wary of interception by Russian Su-35 fighter jets. The Su-35s are equipped with R-37M, R-77, and R-27 air-to-air missiles, which on paper slightly outperform the AIM-120CD missiles used by the F-16. However, the F-16 can utilize the fire and forget mode, allowing it to launch missiles and quickly retreat, making it hard for the Su-35's missiles to catch up. If the Su-35s pursue recklessly, they might enter the range of Ukrainian air defense missiles and risk being shot down. If American E-3 AWACS planes are also assisting, the Ukrainian forces can use their powerful radar to detect incoming Su-35s early and use the air-to-air missile range advantage to strike first and eliminate the targets. This would put Russian air defenses in the Black Sea and southern Ukraine at serious risk. In such a scenario, Western allies might increase military aid, providing Ukraine with more support fighters like the F-15 and F-35 to help them fully control the airspace. The support of U.S. AWACS has already been crucial in intercepting Russian missiles for Ukraine's air defense systems. With a continuous influx of Western weaponry, Ukraine's battlefield advantage over Russia will become increasingly apparent. However, whether they can ultimately defeat the Russian forces depends on the resolve of Western allies and the outcomes of negotiations between the West and Russia. Regarding the destruction of the Crimean Bridge, Ukraine certainly has the capability, but is restrained by the U.S. red lines from acting recklessly. The U.S. fears provoking Putin into blowing up the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, which would be a catastrophic disaster. For Ukraine's limited number of F-16s to truly make an impact, it would be in the skies over the Black Sea. Once the air defense issues in Crimea are resolved, the Black Sea will be dominated by the F-16s. Controlling the airspace over the Black Sea means not just controlling Crimea, but the entire Russian coastline along the Black Sea. Losing this strategic area would be unimaginable for Russia, severely weakening its influence in Europe, and might force Putin to negotiate and make concessions, or risk being completely driven out of Europe. Therefore, the Crimean Peninsula and the Black Sea will be the focus of determining the war's direction in the coming months. Currently, Ukrainian forces are gradually dismantling the Russian air defense system in Crimea and its surrounding areas through a series of precise strikes. In the past few weeks, they have destroyed several air defense positions on the peninsula and attacked key military airports near Sevastopol. These successes are due to the Ukrainian forces' improved training and coordinated operations, as well as strong reconnaissance and intelligence support from NATO allies. However, completely liberating Crimea will take time. The Ukrainian forces need to achieve breakthroughs on the left bank of the Dnieper River and expand their gains to create favorable conditions for reclaiming lost territories. For this reason, the Russian forces have been opening new fronts, attempting to divert Russian forces and delay their counteroffensive. The final outcome of the war will depend on the overall strength of both sides, particularly the depletion of their reserves. Concentrating forces to achieve breakthroughs at critical times and places is a significant test facing the Ukrainian forces.